Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Innkeeper, and today we're going to be doing another Stonehearth time-lapse. It's been a little while since we did one of these. The last one we did was the Sphinx for the Desert series, Welcome to Junetown. Well, it wasn't really for the series, but the whole point of the aesthetic was desert. I didn't continue on with that because I've been very busy, but the Nordic design is the new aesthetic that we are going to be going for today with the Welcome to North Point series. Unfortunately, once again, Junetown is done, I suppose. Until Junetown 2 comes out. Junetown 2 Reckoning, we'll call it. Probably not. And also Tree Blossom as well. I've been falling behind. I'm not going to lie. But the whole point of this series is to get some palettes to make our lives significantly easier. Since the schematics option in the game now actually works, which means you can create some houses in another map and use them in another world. I think so anyway. I haven't properly tested it. But I did try, well, I haven't properly tested it in other worlds, but I did try it in the video that you're watching now, which we will see at the end, showing two houses. They look the same, but oddly different as well, just because of the rotation of the buildings. Very close to one another. I wanted to just, once again, represent the copy, what the hell's the word I'm looking for? Schematics tool, there we go. I keep forgetting the word for some reason, which I think is pretty great. But anyway, about the builds. Yes, it's for Welcome to North Point. We will be using the build that I'm making today in the series, and I'm not going to be using all the builds that I make. I'm probably going to be making a bunch of random Nordic structures. This is a house. I'm probably going to be making multiple houses, but this is my house. It is mine and no one else's, that kind of thing. And I went with a few interesting designs before I found something that I liked. So I'm showing that today. I say I liked. That I thought was okay, you know, it did the job. There are a few issues I have with it, being scaling of the roofs could be a little bit better, but I did the best that I can. Mostly we're going for a wooden design. On the Let's Play, Welcome to North Point, I've said that for the third time now, I did try to use a mix of stone, probably a little bit too much stone in my opinion. I started with a stone roof. I'm probably just going to completely remove that hall, to be honest with you, and I probably... When will I upload this video? I probably will be about 2 episodes in on the new Stonehearth series. So you should be able to see a little bit of the construction going on when it comes to making the hall. The best thing about this series is it means that I don't have to basically learn how to construct something on the fly. I can sort of go through trial and error in my free time and also get a video out doing it, so I don't feel like I've really wasted too much of my time. I say wasted too much of my time. There's a weird thing where it's like, oh yeah, I've got free time, what should I do with it? I should probably like do some recordings, that's good. Not that I find it to be a burden. I guess it just made me sound like it was a burden. But, I mean, you want to have that production in there just because it makes the time feel like it's a lot more worthwhile. You actually get something out of it. Something you can remember, look back on, which is always great. So I'm doing this. I always look back on the time-lapses of the Stonehearth videos. And I must say, I'm very proud of them. Even though I might be getting a little bit stuck in my own hubris there. Hopefully not. That would be great. So yes, mostly wood. In fact, pretty much the only bit of stone that we used was for a chimney, which I do quite like. Basically, with the chimney, I didn't go for a normal, just stone sort of pipe, as it were, sticking out awkwardly outside the building. I made a sort of wooden frame around the chimney. In fact, I made the frame first, and then I put the chimney inside of it, just to cover it up a little bit from the elements, and also just to make it look a lot more interesting. You're going to see that sort of towards the end of this video. I mean, it should be soon, actually. I'm working on the roof right now, going for a very much arched effect. You can probably tell, or at least soon enough, I will be making a thicker coating, as it were, for the roof. You can see I'm trying certain designs right here for the tips, just to give that Nordic design, as it were. There's always a little bit of a slope sticking out, which I do quite like. It's something I'm trying to perfect. There are multiple different ways of doing it with a block-based game, and like I just said, I'm trying to find the best way for it with this particular design. So here you go. This is where I make the slightly thicker coat for the roof. 2 blocks, but not completely covering it. I wanted there to be a little bit of a dent in the middle, just to have a little bit more shape, and once again, to show that slightly curved effect of the roof that you don't traditionally see, since they're not usually completely flat. Usually there's, like I just said, a little bit of a curve in them. Slightly elvish, maybe, but that's not really the design I'm going for, and I don't think I really replicated that, mostly just the Nordic design. You can see both roofs colliding with each other in an honestly quite awkward way, which I do quite like. I'm trying to make this building look quite disjointed at the same time, but in a way where it works. So things that connect with each other are asymmetrical, which is what I'm trying to go for as well. Is asymmetrical the right word? Yeah, asymmetrical, which is not symmetry, which is, yeah, there we go. I usually am quite symmetrical. Like, I've even got a few designs here and there that I actually put on this building that are probably a little bit too clean, as it were, that you're going to be seeing, just to cover up a few of the flat surfaces of the building. I've put a little bit of stabilizers right here on the sides of the roofs, just to fill up a little bit of space. You don't really need them, but I have a little bit of problem with just filling up blank spots, and that was pretty much the only way I could think of just giving the house a little bit more of a multi-layered effect, which is quite difficult to pull off, I would say. In fact, I do add a few bits to the corners of the structure, as well as having a outside block on the main structure, which we will be doing in a little bit. This is where I start making the chimney. At first, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just thought to myself, okay, I need to make a chimney because the roof's a little bit dull looking, but I don't want it to be a traditional, just like I said, random pipe sticking out of the building. So I made a frame, and I pretty much went with the roof design that we're working with right now, with a little bit of a skirt around the main structure of the roof as well, because I thought that would look quite nice. And I did try that with the main roof as well, only probably not as pronunciated. And then I added some random aesthetical qualities here and there. I might have gone a little bit too overboard with those qualities, though. They seem a little bit more for the Tree Blossom series. I'm not sure if anyone else is getting that vibe. Might be just me, so this is where I tried to annoyingly put the chimney in after I've done the frame. So, I mean, I kind of screwed up there, but I wanted to do the frame first instead of working around the chimney. And I think that worked out. It just made it a little bit more awkward to put the chimney in, which I don't really mind. It looks great afterwards, and it does hide most of the frame of the chimney, but you do see the stone in the middle of the design right there, and I do thicken it up a little bit more right there. There we go. And it does look like it belongs on the roof. It's probably a little bit harder to tell on the recording. I mean, I've not done a 60 frames per second time-lapse before, so it might look a little bit too fast for some people. This is going at about 5 times normal speed now, and it didn't take me that long to make the build, probably about 45 minutes on this one anyway. On the others, which you haven't seen, I didn't really keep... I mean, I stopped on halfway on most of them, because I didn't try too many. This is the... Is this the 3rd attempt? Yeah, 3rd or 4th. Although, I guess 3rd, because I don't count the 2nd one, because I barely got through it, really. So I'm not going to count that. Yes, mostly it was just sort of getting the roof done right, and most of that was just down to scaling. I try to add a little bit of aesthetical qualities right here to the flat surfacing, relocating some of the windows here and there. This is where I start to get a little bit too symmetrical, in my opinion. I do like to try and add a little bit of design, but keep out a little bit of asymmetry. This is where I add just a random roof sticking out. Once again, going back to what I said before, making it look kind of random in a very pleasing way. I do actually add a nice balcony as well, which is quite cylindrical at the base layer and attaches to the structure, at least the wall. So it's not attached via pylons that stick into the ground. It's just by the wall. So, I mean, in real life, it might fall off, but it looks really good in the main structure. This is the tiny little... I don't know. Is this a separate building? I mean, I think in my mind it probably would be. Like just a separate little hut, like a storage shed or something like that. Really, though, I wanted to make it a part of the building. So there it is. This is where I make the little bit of the... I just said what it was a second ago, so that's what I'm making. For some reason, the word just slipped from my mind there. And I tried to use several different blocks, tried to get this nice sort of fencing design. Unfortunately, you can't really do too much there without the fence looking massive. So that's basically the best I could really do with it. But I really do think it helps to add a little bit more uniqueness to the main structure. As we near the end of the video here, you will be seeing a much slower version, or a much slowed down video, I suppose. Words are apparently not my forte. And here we go. The 2 houses connected, well, not connected, but next to each other. Zooming in a little bit there, showing just how bold the textures are. I probably could have worked a little bit more on the palette. I added a little bit of an extra trim to the roof just to make it look a little bit more unique. Just, it brightened the roof a little bit more for me. So I added that in there. And I think it does work out fairly well, especially from a distance. You do get a very warm, cozy Nordic vibe with the structures, especially around all the pine trees and oak trees there. Preferably, though, try and get a few more pine trees in there to fit the aesthetic just that little bit more. But there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the first building of the sort of Nordic time-lapse series. It's going to continue onwards from the normal Stonehearth time-lapses that we have been doing. And there we go. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to let me know what you would like me to construct. That would be very much appreciated. I'm not too sure I'm going to be going for next. Probably another house, or maybe even a tower. That might be a good idea. And all of this stuff, as I have said, and I've probably said as I have said about 5 times now, all of this stuff will be, hopefully anyway, if it works, put into a schematic and sent over to our normal Let's Play world, so we don't spend too much time building, and hopefully most of our time looking at a beautiful, just absolutely sprawling empire of nautical prowess. We'll get some Nordic submarines in. That sounds like a fantastic idea. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter for updates on my channel and Twitch for live streams. I'm the Innkeeper, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.